son?
Is that why you're putting the sticky stuff all over the floor?
Dennis, keep your fingers out of it. No, as a matter of fact, the guest room needed a varnishing, and your mother and I thought this would be just as good a time as... Dennis!
Jeepers, here, Sam!
Dennis, stay where you are. How many times have I told you about keeping this frog in the house?
I'm not keeping him in the house, Dad. He's just visiting.
Well, visiting hours are over. I'm telling you for the last time, I want you to find another home for that frog. Do you understand?
Okay, come on, Sam. We gotta find you a new place to live.
Oh, Martha, listen to this warranty on the back of these instructions. It says guaranteed to exterminate all insects that walk, crawl, wiggle, or fly.
I only hope it works, dear.
Oh, it will, Martha. It's bound to. Oh, all we have to do is uncork that bottle that's in the basement, let the fumes come up through the air vents.
I'd feel better if you'd called in a professional fumigator. You've already tried to get rid of those termites once by yourself without success.
Well, that was before they had this new improved product on the market, my dear.
Hi, Mr. Wilson.
Oh, it's you, Dennis.
Mr. Wilson, I'd like you to meet Sam, a new friend of mine.
Bring him in.
He is in.
Oh, good grief.
Hi, Mrs. Wilson. Mr. Wilson, would you mind giving Sam a home in the fish pond in your backyard?
Yes, I would mind very much.
But I've got to find him a nice home.
George, what harm would it do?
Martha, I have no intention of letting a loud bullfrog croak love songs underneath my bedroom window all night long.
Oh, Mr. Wilson, he doesn't even know any.
Doesn't know. Dennis, the answer is no. Now, please take your slimy friend away from here.
Okay, come along, Sam. See you tomorrow night at our place, Mr. Wilson.
George Wilson, how much noise can one small frog make?
Well, that's an interesting question, Martha, and I have no intention of finding out the answer at 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh, if only we didn't have to stay out of the house for 24 hours while we fumigate.
We're only going next door to the Mitchells.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Now, George, you hinted around until they practically had to ask us to stay.
Now I wonder if that was wise. 24 hours with Dennis.
Mr. Wilson! Mr. Wilson! Mr. Wilson! Mr. Wilson!
What's the matter now, Dennis?
Sam jumped down into your basement.
Well, what do you expect me to do? Organize a safari? Run down there and get him out yourself.
Okay, Mr. Wilson. Sam, where are you, Sam? You down there, Sam? Uh-oh. Now look what you made me do, Sam. Boy, is Mr. Wilson gonna be mad. I found Sam, Mr. Wilson.
Oh, that's fine, Dennis.
Is that stuff in the basement what you're gonna use to kill your bugs, Mr. Wilson?
Yes, Dennis. Now, don't bother me.
Gee, that bottle is sure made out of breakable glass, isn't it, Mr. Wilson?
George, what's that strange odor?
Hmm? Why, it smells like Dennis, tell me you didn't.
Have you ever thought about staying at our place tonight, Mr. Wilson?
Great Scott, he did. Run for your lives. Dennis, come on. Get out of here. Oh!
As much as if the varnish on that floor will be dry until tomorrow morning.
Oh, dear, I was afraid of that.
You can't mean the floor of the guest room.
I could put some paper down, I suppose.
And spoil your new floor? Couldn't we do something else?
Let's see. Alice, Mrs. Wilson could sleep in my bed upstairs. I can sleep on the couch down here, and Mr. Wilson can sleep on a folding cot in Dennis's room.
Oh, well, I suppose for one night it wouldn't hurt. Dennis's room?
It's a very comfortable cot, Mr. Wilson.
Let me try the sofa. Excuse me, Mom. Try it here. Let's see.
How does it feel?
Well, I don't know. It feels as if I bulge where the sofa doesn't or something.
Dear, perhaps Mr. Wilson would rather use Dennis's bed.
Alice, George wouldn't think of doing it, would you, dear?
Oh, no. Of course I wouldn't, Martha. Unless they insisted.
You should have thought of it sooner. Dennis won't mind sleeping on the cot one bit.
You see there, Martha? They insisted. Oh, excuse me.
Perhaps you'd like to take a little nap before dinner, Mr. Wilson.
Why, yes, Alice, thank you. I believe I would.
George? I hope you don't walk in your sleep tonight and scare these people half to death.
Now, Martha, you know very well I haven't walked in my sleep for nearly a year.
But you're more apt to do it when you're overtired, the way you are now.
Hey, Dad, guess where Sam's moved to?
Dennis, I'm in no mood for guessing games.
I moved him over to Tommy's fish pond.
Well, I'm happy for both your sake.
Hey, where's good old Mr. Wilson?
Dennis, I think you've bothered Mr. Wilson enough for one day. He's just gone upstairs.
Jeepers, Dad. I'm not gonna bother him. I just want to ask him if he wants to go roller skating.
Dennis! Mr. Wilson's gone up to lie down.
Already? He hasn't even done anything with me yet.
He's just taking a little nap before dinner.
Oh.
Oh, incidentally, Mr. Wilson's going to share your bedroom with you tonight.
Oh, boy, good old Mr. Wilson.
And one other thing, I don't think it's anything to be concerned about, but I understand Mr. Wilson walks in his sleep sometimes.
Walks in his sleep?
Where are you off to now?
I gotta tell the kids about this.
Oh, George, just look at this room.
Baseball pennants, 5,000 comic books, nasty-looking spider, bubble gum. What's in this thing? Oh, great!
Oh, George. Doesn't this room make you a little sorry that we don't have a little boy of our own?
Makes me a little sorry we don't have a little hotel room of our own.
George, it's only for overnight.
Oh, well, all right. Oh, Martha, I had everything so beautifully planned for tomorrow. Now look at me, gassed out of my own house without even my toothbrush. All because of Dennis.
Oh, dear, it isn't as if Dennis did it on purpose.
Well, Martha, hurricanes don't wreck towns on purpose. Great Scott.
What is it, dear?
Well, I don't know. What in the world? A stuffed alligator. Good grief.
Well, I gotta get back inside. Mr. Wilson's taking a nap. For all I know, he's walking around up there right now. Wow. Dennis, can I come with you? Jeepers, Tommy. There's no telling how Mom and Dad will feel about outsiders watching. I'll give you a nickel. A nickel? I'll give you a nickel, too. Tomorrow. Here's my nickel, Dennis. Okay, come on. He's right in there. Now, all of you waiting for a horror movie to start. You asleep?
Dennis.
You feeling sleepy, Mr. Wilson?
Well, I was until you came in.
Would you like me to ask my mom to give you a sleeping pill?
Oh, Dennis, go home.
I am home.
Oh, so you are. Good grief.
He's not asleep yet, but one eyelid's kind of droopy. Gee, Dennis, I gotta get home for supper soon. Me too. And I gotta get back and change my babies. I want my nickel back. Me too. Jeepers, Tommy, which would you rather do? Eat or watch something that'll scare you for the next 10 years? I want to do both.
Now what is it, Dennis?
Mr. Wilson, would you mind walking around a little with your eyes closed?
Would I what?
I've got 3 friends out there who have never seen anybody walk in their sleep.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
Well, what are you children doing here?
Good afternoon, Mrs. Wilson. We're waiting for Mr. Wilson to walk in his sleep. Hi, Mrs. Wilson.
Dennis, I'm sure your mother would rather you children played outside. Besides, Mr. Wilson never walks in his sleep during the day.
He doesn't?
No.
Okay, come on, kids. Hey, Mrs. Wilson, will you do us little kids one favor?
Of course, dear. What is it?
If Mr. Wilson does start walking in his sleep, aim him down the stairs. What are we going to do now? I got an idea. Instead of giving your nickels back, I'll stay up all night. What will that do us? Yeah. When Mr. Wilson walks in his sleep, I'll take a picture with my flash camera and give you each a copy. Gee, Dennis, that's a swell idea. Yeah. I want my nickel back. I don't believe he walks in his sleep at all, Dennis Mitchell. Here's your nickel back, Margaret. Mr. Wilson probably wouldn't walk in front of a dumb girl anyhow. Is that so? Come on, children. See you tomorrow, Dennis. I better go home too, Dennis. Hey, Tommy, say hello to Sam for me. And tell him not to go swimming in your fish pond after eating. Okay. I really hope he doesn't start making a lot of noise in the middle of the night. My dad's bad enough when I wake him up.
Good night, dear.
Oh, good night, Martha.
I hope those pajamas fit, Mr. Wilson.
Oh, they're fine, Mitchell.
Good night, son.
Night, Dad.
Good night.
Jeepers, isn't this fun, Mr. Wilson?
Oh, this is just peachy dandy, Dennis. Go to sleep.
First, we gotta say our prayers. Aren't you gonna say your prayers, Mr. Wilson?
Well, you see, Dennis, the sad fact is, most grown people neglect to say their prayers at night.
My mom says all nice people say their prayers every night.
Well, your mom is absolutely right. You go first, Dennis.
Dear Lord, please bless Mom and Dad and Mr. and Mrs. Wilson and Tommy and Sam. And please make Mr. Wilson walk in his sleep.
Dennis, I am not going to walk in my sleep. Oh. Dear Lord, please watch over Martha and the Mitchells, including Dennis. Amen.
What about Sam?
I will pray for your frog, Dennis, when he starts putting in a good word for me.
Good night,
Oh, good night.
You want a drink of water, Mr. Wilson?
No, thank you.
You hungry?
Oh, Dennis, we just ate.
Yeah, but that was downstairs.
Dennis, go to sleep.
Your bed comfortable?
My bed's very comfortable. How's yours?
The one you're in is mine.
I know the one I'm in is yours. I meant the... Oh, good night. What's wrong now?
I'm not sleepy.
I am. Dennis, would you please mind not staring at me?
Then how will I know when you start walking in your sleep?
I am not going to walk in my sleep. Oh, good grief.
You're the funniest friend I ever slept with. It's me, Tommy. Open the front door. Okay. Jeepers, Tommy. What are you doing out this late? Your old frog was croaking so loud, thought he'd wake my dad up and get me in trouble. Here. Hi, Sam. I guess he got homesick. I almost got in trouble anyway. I ran into a policeman on the way over here, but I told him... There he goes. Gee, that was a good one. He's going up the stairs. Boy, he's quick. He must have gone in my room. You look under that bed. Dennis, look. He's headed for the guest room. We gotta get my camera. Yeah. Come on.
Dennis, is that you?
Jeepers, it's Mom.
bed, and the front door was open.
Oh, he's probably walking in his sleep.
Get your coat, dear.
Oh, honey, that's my hat.
Oh, yeah. I'll start looking around the neighborhood. Meanwhile, you better call the police.
The police?
Yeah, he may get hit by a milk truck.
Good evening.
That certainly was fast, wasn't it? What can I do for you, officer?
I stopped a little boy on the street a few minutes ago. He gave me this address.
Is this possible?
He ran away before I had a chance to bring him home.
But Dennis has been upstairs in his bed all evening.
Are you sure?
Of course we're sure.
Would you mind if we took a look?
Not at all.
I wonder what that was.
Yes. You get some more flashbulbs, Tommy. Okay.
Alice, is anything the matter?
Oh, Henry's going out to look for Mr. Wilson in just a few minutes.
Look for him.
Right this way, officer.
Well, he's in bed, all right.
That's not Dennis.
Sure it is, lady.
Officer, I know my own son.
Tommy, what are you doing here?
Hi, Mr. Mitchell. I just dropped by to bring Sam back.
Where's my husband?
Oh, please, lady, one thing at a time, huh?
Tommy, do you know where Dennis is?
Sure. In the guest room.
Guest room.
Alice, what is going on?
Oh, Mrs. Wilson, I wish I knew.
Dennis, what are you doing in here?
I'm picking up glass and Mr. Wilson won't walk on it.
Now I've seen everything.
He must be awakened gently.
Dennis, come here, honey. We better stay out here.
George. George, dear, wake up. George. I can't wake him up.
Good old Sam can wake anybody up.
Oh, good morning, Martha. Oh, what a dreadful night. I dreamt I was sleeping in the same room with Dennis. What am I doing here?
Dear, you walked in your sleep.
Good grief. Now I remember. It wasn't a dream.
Smile, Mr. Wilson. Say cheese.
Great Scott! Ah, there. That awful odor is finally gone. Oh, isn't it wonderful to be back in our own home again, Martha?
Yes, dear. And I'm so glad you're letting Dennis keep the frog in our fish pond after all.
Well, I'm so glad to be back that I just couldn't be mad at anybody. Besides, it was the only way I could be sure of getting those negatives from Dennis. Oh.
Hi, Mr. Wilson. Hi, Mrs. Wilson.
Hello, dear.
Well, Dennis, what are you doing over here?
I just came over to thank you again for letting Sam live over here in your fish pond.
Oh, well, that's all right, Dennis. Who knows? Maybe his croaking will wake me up when I start walking in my sleep again.
They sure will, Mr. Wilson.
They? What do you mean by they?
The boy that gave him to me said Sam's gonna be a mother. By summertime, you'll have a whole jillion croaking frogs.
Great
This has been a Screen Gems film production from the Hollywood studios of Columbia Pictures.